guys, to be very honest, this reshuffle thing, if it is true, it's going to be serious. So, I mean, look at the names that have come up.
Yeah.
The likes of Otiko Jaba, the sanitation minister especially. I mean, this is somebody that a lot of us have been, assessing how he's handling the ministry and all of that. I think it's quite interesting that his name has also come up.
Well, I think you see that man has been feeling the heat for far too long as far as sanitation in the country is concerned. But you see, let's be fair with him. Is it a matter of he not getting what he has to get to be able to move or drive?
Oh, I don't think so.
Not that I'm trying to.
You think he's not working?
No. When you make the man, I mean,
So Redwan, you feel that he's worked enough not to be in it?
The whole mantra was that we are making
I think there
we are
is
making
something.
Accra the cleanest city. It's not. So then what is he doing? He's not doing anything. For me, the minister that must be reshuffled is the chieftaincy minister.
Do we have a chieftaincy minister?
I support you 100%.
We don't see anything.
I've not seen a single invitation, maybe that's me, or I've not read anywhere online that the chieftaincy minister has gone to a festival and even made a statement.
The president has been saying time and over again that we want to make Accra the cleanest city in the country.
When is that going to happen?
It has not even reflected.
My goodness.
And the sanitation day that was introduced, now we don't even see what people are doing anymore.
I disagree with all of you.
Why?
No, what? Look, you see, let's be fair with
The
the man.
minister is his friend.
Don't be partial. Don't be partial.
No, you see, Red, that is not. Look, the man is not my friend. You see, and it's not about that.
Hey, you are denying today. This conversation should be in the spirit of public interest.
Yes, of
Not
course. But you see, we have to be fair.
camaraderie.
No, you see, no. See, look. We should you see, listen. We should not debate on sentiment or in emotions.
But it's not
We
about
are talking about
sentiment, it's about what we see on the streets of Accra.
Look, have we also sought to know as to whether the man has been given the requisite resources?
But they all have their budget. They all have their budget.
He actually came out to say that they had received an amount of money that was supposed to be given to them.
And you
And
think the
an
man is not
extra
working?
40 million.
Have you
We are not seeing the reflection.
have you seen the number of dustbins that has been planted?
But no, I haven't seen.
If you look, listen, this whole thing about sanitation is, I think it's about time we change attitudes. Let me tell you what. Now, if you go to a number of places, okay, you see a number of dustbins and all that being planted in these areas, but just so people don't dump in them.
And
I
am surprised we have even reduced the conversation
but
to
manager.
just refuse. What about communities that don't even have potable water? I mean, go to the northern region. A lot of the communities are drinking from what you perhaps liken to gutters in Accra. And we claim we have a minister who is in charge of sanitation and water.
No, Redwan.
And so, Evans, I can appreciate the sort of relationship you
My
have with the
is
minister.
just here. My is just here. My is not very far.
It's not about relationship.
A lot
Redwan.
needs to be done.
Redwan,
And we are not seeing
Redwan.
But
It's not about
in the
relationship,
end,
we are talking
even
about.
if you are working, your work has to reflect. The work has to work for you. But we are not seeing anything. The data I used to see in Accra last year, 2 years ago, is the same thing I am seeing now.
Otiko Jaba.
What is his expertise with health?
She's
I don't
working.
understand communicators.
Otiko is working.
So.
The man does not probably know anything about the. So are there no doctors who can competently say this is
But
our
do
line
you
of work?
feel that the trade minister is doing well? I mean, one district, one factory. We are yet to realize that.
No. We
I mean,
see
the one
a lot
is
of
one down.
initiatives with
No,
one
but we
district.
are not seeing that. We
No,
are
the
not
other
See how lively it is always in the newsroom. You're welcome to this week's Newsroom Diaries. My name is Nanama Anno Bempong. Let's speak to our first reporter, that's Francisca Ahin. The power situation in Ghana now is becoming untenable. I mean, sometimes in some places you get doomso, still up to date. Are you experiencing that? What do you think about this whole new deal? Will it help us?
Well, Dumsa is not in my area that is called Tema Community 17. I don't know how the situation is in other parts of Accra, but I can speak for my place, Tema Community 17 to be specific. There isn't anything like Dumso. I think for some time now the power situation has been stable. Then the recent issue has been the Ameri deal, which brought a lot of concerns from stakeholders, among others, whereby people were calling for the head of the
bow-tied man.
Of the bow-tied man. Of the bow-tied man. The last to make the call was VRA, who also wanted the man to be out of
So you went there to the head office, and I think from the video that I saw, tempers were high and flaring. What were people ready to run out and write their petitions to the president, or?
The issue is, I think they felt the America wasn't going to be of any benefit to the country and wanted the initial contract to end before, if any negotiation would be done, the government would look into that instead of the 15 years contract they wanted to or sign for that very particular deal. So they were only fighting for the 2 years of the deal to elapse before, if any other consideration will be made, it's taken up.
So from your story, all I heard from the VRA guys is that he's a bow tie man, and they were very, very upset with him.
That statement came from a retiree of VRA. He said he worked with VRA for 35 good years. Wow. And wouldn't want anything to jeopardize the activities of the company. That was on a lighter note, where he said the man is only good at wearing bow ties and not fitting suits and not handling energy issues. So he was telling the president to come take his bow tie man to wherever he brought him from.
Wow, I mean, I think it's an interesting situation now, and I'm ready to see how everything will be unfolding as time is going on.
Yes, so now the minister has been released of his job, and we're hearing people are giving names of people who are likely to sit to be the next energy minister. We are yet to know who exactly, but till then, Peter Amewu, the Lands and Natural Resource Minister is now the interim minister for that sector.
Question between you and me, that's between you and I. Who do you think will be the next minister, or who do you want to be the next minister?
I wouldn't mind if Peter Amewu stays.
If he stays, okay. You think he'll do a good job for Ghana?
Yeah, because he's coming from an energy background before heading the lands ministry. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind if he's given the shot.
So, Franca, thank you so much for speaking with us today. When you were younger, did you have good, easy access to ICT, or you had problems?
Well, I was fortunate to have attended one of the best schools in Ghana. I went to Infantiman Girls School, then I was fortunate to have access to ICT in my school, yes.
Okay. And, you know, what about in your community where you stayed before you went to the best school? I can't verify that, but anyway. Before you went to the best school, how about in your community? Did you have easy access to ICT there?
Not really. It was kind of difficult getting access to a community ICT. But then I'm sure that most homes have had access to it.
Because it seems to be a huge problem in Ghana that schools, unless they are the higher echelons of schools, that it's like, oh, we don't have IT. I remember somebody was drawing a mouse on a board and all those kind of things. But you went to Mahia. What happened when you went there?
Well, sometime back last month, I visited the community on a different story. Yeah, and I noticed this structure that had been there, and it looked very reedy. So then I tried finding out what it was for. That was when I got to know that it was actually an ICT center that was built for the community and had been abandoned. So I decided to follow up, get more information about it, and do a story on that. So that's how it all started anyway. So on Saturday, I visited Mahia. But then before then, I even wanted to speak to the MCU. So I was at Amasaman. He asked us to meet him at Amasaman, and we were there for close to 2 hours. Yeah, and he wasn't coming back. just decided to be more patient to get him. So eventually he was there, we did the interview, and from there we went to the community itself. And when we got there, the place was actually locked.
So what, did you have to jump over the wall or what happened?
Well, actually I had to jump the wall.
Hey, illegal matters.
Yes. You know, sometimes when you are trying to get the stories, you have to go extra miles.
Sure.
Get it. So actually I had to.
You weren't hurt, right?
No, I wasn't. Why were you expecting me to get it?
No. I just wanted to be sure that you were.
Yes, I was safe anyway. So I had to jump the wall to get access to the place, and we went in and we had a good story out of that.
Yeah, it seems so. So what do you think is going to change after the story that you've done?
Well, the MC promised that by the end of this August, we should expect something positive. So,
Something positive like...
well, according to him, things are in place to get the police moving by the end of this month. So I would be there definitely.
Today is, okay, week. So I think we're looking at maybe in a couple of weeks or so, something should be done. So in a couple of weeks, you will go back.
Well, that's what he says anyway. But then I spoke to the assemblyman of the community as well, and he looked. What he said was contradicting what the MC said. The DC said. He sounded more negative, and according to him, he had followed up on this particular ICT center, and nothing had been done about it. So he was so much not sure if what the DC was saying was true. But then we are just hopeful.
So in 2 weeks' time, you're going to go back to Mahia and see whether the DCE has done what he promised. And I think that because it was on air, he has to fulfill what he said. So let's hope for the best.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. But then let me just give you this. I was told that is not the only place that has an abandoned ICT center in his community. I'm told they have about 2 of them that has been abandoned. So I'm hoping that I will be able to discover the other one as well and bring it out for the public to view.
Wow. The investigative roving reporter, Baba Frank. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to Marcel, who is one of the interns in the newsroom. How's everything?
Everything is good.
Your last day is coming up and I'm so sad to see you go.
It's unfortunate, but then we'd have to go back to school to learn so that when we come back, we can impact.
When you come back, I like that. I want to see you back because you've been such an impactful person in the newsroom, and I've been really happy working with you. And I'm wondering, do you have any specific experiences that you can take away with you?
You know, the first day I came, I was nervous, it was mixed feelings. I sat right there and the meeting started. My mind, what is it? What am I going to be? What do I do? I was so confused.
Your mind was racing.
Yeah, I was just confused. Then I see one man just walk up and say, okay, so let's sit for the meeting. That's the assignment at the time. He speaks, and then he asks, okay, introduce yourself. And I say, my name is Marcel Kwabusum. I'm an intern. Then he says, well, GH1 is a serious organization. We are not here to joke. So if you're not ready to be serious, then I think you'd have to leave. I was like, wow.
So marching orders on your first day.
It wasn't easy. So then I'm looking, what am I going to expect if the organization is not going to entertain any form of unserious people? Then I think I would have to step on my game. Then I start hearing deep voices here and there. Joshua contributing. I was like, wow, this place is going to be hot. It was a Friday, unfortunately, so I was hoping for Monday to come. Then I would start the
Really
learning
show
process.
your true colours.
Yes.
But I remember when you first started, you were with us during the day, but then all of a sudden you disappeared and then you were coming early morning. What happened?
Oh my goodness. It was one afternoon, the deputy news editor called and said, there's no one to assist production for the morning show. So you would have to come here at dawn. Then I said, wow, dawn? Normally
Do you know what dawn is?
I don't even know dawn. On a regular day, I wake up around 9.
Let's see.
So then I have to adjust and wake up at about 3:30, bath and meet the bus halfway to come. The first week it was hectic. I almost went down with some malaria, but then
I remember.
Oh my
had to. Have you ever prompted before?
Yes, I have.
And have you ever had to give a story idea before?
Yes, so many times.
Really? So when you first had to give your first story idea, because I remember when I first came out, I just thought that I in fact I didn't know what to think because I've not worked in a newsroom before. And then when they asked me for my first story idea, I was shocked. How did you feel?
You know, that I was sitting right here, and then it went round, it went round. I didn't know anything. I didn't have anything in my head. So I was sitting here. Then it got to my turn. Yes, Marcel, your story idea. Wow, what do I do now? So then now I have to fabricate something. Then I start stammering. I was coming to work and I saw a pool of water somewhere, so I think they were flooded. They were flooded, so I think we'd have to do a story from there. Yes, then manager says, okay, then I'm like, Jesus, I'm in trouble. What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to ask? What if the water, someone put it there? Someone poured water there? What am I going to do? Like, wow. So
did you end up doing the story?
Unfortunately, that day, Nana came to my rescue.
Thank God for Nana.
She said I would have to study in-house before I can go out. So then...
And even now, I think you found your niche with what you are doing now with the guest relations and the prompting and phone calls and things. Because as I've watched you, you've really come into your own doing those things. And, you know, as I said before, I'm really sad to see you go.
You know, I found it difficult in the beginning, trying to adapt to... I remember once when I was assigned to the morning show, I was supposed to prompt for morning news. The first time I got to the PCR, the director was sitting there. Okay, so you have to prompt. Sewa was there, I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. So then, the first story, I faffed Sewa. Then I see Sewa give a straight face. I see Sewa give me a straight face, and then I'm like, well, am I going to be able to stand this? So, but the director eventually held me out a couple of times, and then I stood, and then I think that's it.
So what happened? What did she say when that happened? Because if you're presenting and someone messes you up, it's not an easy something to come from.
You know, because she was presenting, she couldn't say anything at that point. So I was praying, God, let her come down with me. Don't let Sewa get angry. So once we finished, I ran to the studio, and then she was, how could you do that? You know, I said, I'm sorry. You know, this is my first time. Next time I'll try to do it better. Then she gave me, you better do. I was like, wow, I'm in trouble. So when there's no one in the PCR, I try to go and play around. And so that's how I was able to step up right there. I think that's what has helped me.
Yeah. So your practice has made you perfect, so to
I'm
speak.
not perfect yet.
But you are moving towards it.
Yes, but then I'm perfect.
I'm sorry to see you go. I hope everything goes well. Keep visiting us anyway.
Yeah. I was saying that I'll try to at least come twice a week to enhance the learning. Once we learn,
And so you can say hi as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Marcel, for your time.
You're welcome.
And we at the newsroom are really happy that you came and you've left your indelible mark here.
And I'm grateful that some of you have been able to help me, especially Joshua, Red One, Curtis, especially Star Woman. When I remember Curtis, I remember Star Woman. I didn't know anything about Star Woman. Curtis would just throw me that thing. I came back 4 hours, I couldn't write a story. Eventually, Odile had to come and rescue me.
Odile, star writer.
Curtis would finish me. Curtis would just step out and come back and I'm waiting for my story, and then I started sweating. I don't know why, but all in all, I was able to learn something, and then I think I better my writing skills. Yeah, so I'm very grateful.
That's what school is for. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
God bless. So we're now moving over to the wonderful Joshua Nana Kwame Ayra. Wait. Joshua, let's eat together.
Oh no, some things are for men. I beg you.
Yes.
Oh, don't.
He's coming. You just take your time. So, you know, these days we see so many children on the streets and things like that. They are just loitering around. They don't have anywhere to go. They're sleeping on the streets. And I believe that there are many orphanages out there that are taking care of these street children. And I think you went to one of them. What, you know, what did you find?
Porter's Village Orphanage Home, which is at Dodoa. Yeah. And you see, it wasn't a planned thing. It wasn't one of the stories where you get to scout. But then I happened to travel there on a different assignment, and so I took advantage of that. You know, as journalists, we fish for stories. I mean, we live the story. When I say we live the story, I mean we breathe, we think, we smell. So whichever way, how it presents itself, or however it presents itself, you just seize the opportunity to do it. And so yes, that's how come it has been existing already. I mean, for about 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's nothing. I don't think the name is even new to people. But then again, the plight sitting there, the orphanage home, is what one might be wondering what exactly is going on there. And that's how
When
come.
you went there, what did you smell out there?
Okay, it is not one of the usual orphanage homes you get to find, where you bring these children in, or vulnerable kids in, to give them shelter or home. This is more or less like an institutionalized home. And what do I mean by that? You would have these children coming in, they are going to be tutored, or one would say tutelage. All that, they are going to be mentored, they are going to have them, they give them the opportunity to have the academic experience. And so they have teachers in there, we have caregivers in there, and so we have the owner and then the facilitator or the administrator there with them, who is also a retired teacher, also teaching them. And so that is how different it is, unlike the other ones where it is a choice, or you have a selective experience, where you have to take a few people who you deem or you consider smart to take to school. But this, they take everyone through, from the elementary right through to the tertiary level. And indeed, there were about 4 people or children from that orphanage home who are in the tertiary institution, Tech, University of Ghana, also another technical or vocational institute, and also having the pleasure to learn and also acquire some knowledge and skills. And
I
it's
think
been
you said
interesting.
that it was from the baby stage all the way to about 23
Yes,
or so.
from months to 23. And see, some of these kids, they happen to find them by chance. So people would just dump them elsewhere. Someone would think of the orphanage home, that is the Porter's Village, bring them there for them to have some shelter. Others too would have to bring them there personally, because they can't control or take care of them. Some
families bring their children
bring
there.
them there. But the only thing is that you realize that when we got there, it is a common challenge you find in most orphanage homes. An even thread when you talk of dilapidated sides of the building, where it appears the walls are expanding and it can't contain the numbers anymore, because it is very small. And it is, the sad thing is, it is a rented apartment or facility to house or accommodate these children, and the rent, it keeps skyrocketing every time. And so the woman or the founder or the owner can no longer pay the bills, and they don't.
So wait, sorry to cut you, but governments are not helping with
Government has a capitation grant for these orphanage homes. They have an amount of money they give allocated for that, and also feeding grants for them. But over time, the nation has experienced this wide growth of orphanage homes in the country. Some just making merchandise of these children. Exactly. They receive items, they receive products, they receive money, and they don't do anything. And then they leave these kids unattended to, and it's a problem. But there are others that are actually committed to the allegiance they pledged to take care of these children, and so they are committed to that. And I think not to speak for the foster care, talking of the Porters Village, not to speak for them, but they are doing some appreciable things for these children. I mean, but the only thing is that they lack the space, the room. I mean, you have a little room that has about 16 beds and accommodate over 80 people or 80 children. It's boys. It's a problem. And the kids too, I mean, the female dormitory side too, they also have like about 15 beds and also accommodate more than 70. And now the question is, so where do they study? In the hallway, corridors, in the compound where you have, there's good. There is this well there. They cook there. So when they are teaching or they are learning, when they are cooking, you can guess, the fugitive emission of smoke just drives its way through. We have these kids also being distracted because there's another session going on, and so they are making, and sometimes they go learn under trees. And when it rains, and one other thing that caught my attention is where the washroom or the bathroom or the bathhouse, it wasn't really in good shape. I mean, some of the children, when they saw us, they had to go there and then in a smart way clean up the place. But how much work can you do there? Because it is left untidy. It was really in a bad shape when we got there. I mean, the gutters were, there's a gutter there that is supposed to channel the water from the bathroom and then the toilet to the back of the building, and it was really bad. So we visited some of the rooms, and there was another classroom that they share. It's supposed to be a library and a classroom, and it's very small. Can't really accommodate them. And everything in that place can't seem to house these children. And so the home, or the place that's supposed to be a home, is actually not so homey enough to have these children there.
So it's like they've got the idea, but it's the execution. How to put it into
exactly. And so, I mean, you have the administrator who was looking for a new site, and I think she has gotten a place, but it's about getting the funds to, purchase that parcel of land is the problem now. And but we've had some benevolent individuals or corporate organizations donating, but then again, it's always a problem. And the common mantra you get to hear is just like Oliver Twist, they would always ask for more, and that's just because they don't have the resources or the means. If they do, it would just be a thing of the past. But my problem is that we keep having these orphanage homes springing up, and that's a problem. And so if we do not check the birth rate and also family planning, it will be a problem. And so as we are having lots of churches where we're supposed to have souls coming in to be reconciled unto the Father, we're having a lot of these homes coming up to have these children being housed and be reconciled to hardship. That will be a problem. So you get the irony there. These children are supposed to be in the house of God, but they're in the house of other men who are just maltreating them somewhere. But there are some other orphanage homes that are doing very well. But and the kids are very beautiful. Some of them are very beautiful and smart. When you ask them, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a soldier. I mean, yeah, police officer. Don't be surprised that someone wants to be a police officer, because it is one of the institutions that they hold their integrity in high esteem. Yeah. It just happened that we have a few people who are denigrating that. But I mean, yeah, and these children are very, very lively to be with, and they're very smart. A few of them that we had the opportunity to speak or engage. Yeah. But then again, interesting thing is, because I took the opportunity, I used just about 20 minutes to do that story, to cover that story.
But the story, when I saw it, the story was so comprehensive. It was really heartwarming, and I think the public out there will also think and wonder how they can also maybe contribute to help them, or maybe if they have a land or somewhere that they can give to these places, or through the correct channels to be able to put something up themselves. Yeah. And then also help to accommodate all these children that are on the streets, who they are not being tended to, who their parents have just abandoned them. I mean, when it comes to children, it's a sad thing.
It is. But we must also admit or give credit to the government. I mean, there has been some interventions by the Gender Ministry trying to get or rid the streets of Accra and even beyond this particular region to other parts to get these children off the street. But it is not enough. If we can actually adequately resource and furnish these institutions or these homes, we can have or expand them. We can have more of these kids and also the family planning bit. It is something that is supposed to be critical. Yes, it adds to the nation's growth, but we are not looking at the nation growing in numbers. We're looking at the nation growing in, yes, and having a better GDP, to meet up with the other economic landslide in the sub-region. It will help, but just the numbers which we have others suffering is just not helping, especially these kids. And the irony is children are the future of the nation or the world, and these children are being, facing some early hardship they are not supposed to. I mean, you can't blame their parents. I mean, you can't blame the government much, but then again, you can't blame their parents too. But who do you blame here? It's no time for blame games, but it's just time for action.
How to solve the matter and how to move forward.
Something that cannot get off our street. We'll continue. Okay. But I have to go and eat.
Hey, if you don't save me something, I said, if you don't pretend like you haven't heard me, Joshua.
Sorry.
Joshua.
Sorry.
I'm really hoping he saves me something because, Charlie, baby shit. My name is Nanama Anna Bempong. Thank you from GH1 News Team. We look forward to seeing you again next week. I'm off to eat.